Hey, I'm just laughing at Nathan here with the old the bootlegging kind of clips that he's been putting out. I love it actually. I might change this stream to the bootleg show. But this is essentially after Nathan does his main show and we do an after show. What tends to happen is we have a group of people stay behind and we end up chatting for an hour, 2 hours, and we get into all kinds of stuff, flat earth related, some not flat earth related, some chemtrails related, all kinds of different stuff. And essentially we're just bantering between friends, talking. It's a lot less structured than it is with Nathan's, with the questions, answers, and stuff like that. Sometimes we can beg the question. So that's what that's what I filmed a couple of days ago. This is what I filmed today. I'm hoping that Arwen's actually going to take over doing a couple of these shows as well, because it is really interesting. It seems that we do talk a lot of really good stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's really talked about that's very interesting, but never gets to air. So people never actually get a chance to hear what we actually talk about and how we actually get to the conclusions that we get to. And then when we come and we do a presentation on Nathan's, it all seems very honed, but a lot of that's been through this kind of off-air talk sort of thing. So that's what I'm going to be presenting today. Let me get things sorted here. Let me go over here and pop that on there. So you should be seeing right now, Quantum Eraser's logo. So in the after show we had Arwen, Chocolate, Quantum Eraser, Adam Meakin and myself. We were actually joined by Anon. He came in, caused a bit of a riot as well, I have to say. Yeah, that was an interesting point. Him and John went at it as well, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, but it's quite interesting. I hope you're going to enjoy this. I'm going to put myself on mute, and if I do need to step in and say hello to some people, I will do. But we have got already 69 people, and that's awesome. Ryan Easton, Ian Adams, Anon, Paige, Mason B, Unicorn, Laser Eyes, Sean Hawkins. Nice to have the Globe Troll in. Nice to see you in. Ragnar, nice to see you in. And many, many, many others. Thank you very much, everyone, for stopping by. And without further ado, we'll get the show on the road. Hey. Hello.
Hello.
What do you think of that last image then?
Yeah, I like it.
I like it too, Ranty.
Cool. You can definitely see it. And what was interesting when I was doing all kinds of things with it in different settings and stuff, it was definitely a solid part. I mean, it wasn't like it was some kind of mirage thing. It was really a solid object that we were working with. That horizon was solid throughout. No matter what you changed on it, it was always present.
No, it's very clear. I mean, it's so obvious, and I like it when you show it in all the different variations that you did.
Yeah, I think that last one's the one though.
I'm thinking so too. That's where you could really make it at.
So just to summarize, Kiwi and Ranty, nothing changed from Saturday's show other than a misrepresentation of one picture, but the actual pictures actually exist for the miles stated.
All that he did, BMLSB6, he just made a mistake. He labeled the 35-foot observation the 1-foot observation. That's all he did, and it doesn't matter anyway. But
right.
I like to keep my stuff tight. So
right. So what I'm saying is there is the 1-foot shot, which we're seeing. There was the 35-foot shot, which we are seeing, and he just mislabeled it, but they both actually exist in reality.
Yes.
That's all. Yeah, so nothing changes other than the correction.
You do like 2 minutes of research, you could see what happened. It's not even that serious. They're just running with it because they have nothing else to run with.
Yeah, but that was the image that he presented, the 35-foot at like a minute or so into his video. That wasn't the image that John was using. Right. I mean, the image that what he did is he put a 35-foot observation up, and he repeated the same image. He put the same image up twice. Basically, and claimed that one was from 1 foot and one was from 35 feet. But Then when he actually got into the video and he went through and he showed the video and he did it properly, everything from there on was absolutely spot on. His 1 foot image was his 1 foot image. His 35 foot was his 35 foot. It's just at the very start of the video he put the wrong image in, which wasn't the one that was being used anyway. So it's pointless that them even bringing that up.
Yeah, it's the problem was it was labeled 1 foot elevation, ocean waterline, sea level. That was the That's the one I was using.
That wasn't the one you were using, unless it was on a different part of Ballbusters that I must have missed. But the image with the red line in and everything, the one that you was actually doing the calculations on, that was from 1 foot.
Right. I understand that. I'll say this one more time. The one with and we can see it, just scroll up in Master B, is the one with the text on it that says 1 foot elevation.
Yeah.
That's the one that I was... listen, I was using a couple photographs.
Oh, I see. So in your presentation, you used that one and claimed it was a 1 foot one as well, right? Okay.
Yes. That's where I was getting to. That's why I was a little huffy on the Hangout, because I thought that's what we were talking about.
No.
It was just a case of misplaced concretedness.
It was because I said I had a bone to pick with John, and it was nothing to do with you using the wrong image. It was to do with the fact that you were using that image with the red line in that had no clarity. There was no it was just a red line over. It was really difficult to see anything.
Yeah, that's almost... right. Hold on. That was Taboo Conspiracies shot. Yeah. So I used that in my proof, but below that, because I scrolled down below it, because I can understand you can't see the horizon in that one. I got you. So what I did was I put a couple other photos, that yellow one, and then I used that 1 foot elevation.
I know what you did. Ranty did this last year when he said he sets up the ballers by posing a question, and then they say, "Oh, I'm going to go do all the research," and then they go do all the research, and Ranty's got them by the you-know-what. So, John, you being a military guy, you purposely mixed it up because both pictures prove your point. I know what you did, you little stealth fighter.
Was the trigger up? Was that it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Hey, listen, if the Globers aren't talking about you, you're not relevant, are you? You've got to make them talk about your show. So give him a little. Yep. Give him a little.
Oh. Wait. Where's Nathan?
Do you need him?
In Espanol.
Nah, I think he's swimming.
No, I had a phone call. So for like 30 minutes. So that's why I wasn't there.
Was it somebody updating you on the scientific method?
No, it was my healer, actually. It was really good.
Yeah, you need a scientific method healer.
Nah, no, the scientific method is fine as it is. It doesn't need any healing. It's the people that need healing that don't use it right.
Yeah, you need it. From what I heard, you need it.
No, I get it. Stop trying to strawman me here. I get it. I'm with you on the scientific method. I just sometimes use the word theory colloquially, and I know.
Here we go.
I heard you should be hung for sedition. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding.
Sorry, I didn't sign any contracts.
Hey, if you two want to get into something, I can set a show up, perhaps.
That's all right.
Oh, be careful, 10th man. Don't joke on your laughing.
Oh my gosh, I was thinking of you being hung on something and the string theory all at the same time.
Jeez. Really? I don't believe in the string theory anyway.
Have you hung yourself to find out?
I don't think that's the way you can prove it.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
Harwin doesn't have a sense of humor. We know this, guys.
No, I do, but my sense of humor is taking things very literal.
That's what he just said.
No, that's not what he said.
You don't have a sense of humor on Ranty's description that you don't have a sense of humor.
Okay, fine, whatever.
What the heck is Anthony talking about? He has an uploaded rendering right now on this video. On what video? It done what Ranty has, but my last third. Oh,
Hey.
he must have done something with this.
Did anybody see my Bob Earth debunked show today?
I listened to a bit.
Yeah,
but
you
I
were
didn't
there.
hear
I
any
know.
debunking.
No, not really. But I did talk about him, or rather, everybody in chat started talking about him, so then I just addressed it.
What is it you have against Bob?
What about Bob?
Are you willing to let me tell you uninterrupted?
Hey, Adam, are you on? Adam, can you explain those two pictures you put up on the scientific method?
What?
Adam, he put up two pictures of Master B on the scientific method.
Okay.
I thought you were a mod at Globebusters anyway, Arwin.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute there.
No, but being a mod on Globebusters, that didn't last very long, you know. As soon as I even started to forward calling them a bunch of discers, you know, as soon as anybody shows any kind of criticism, and it's really true, you know, whatever they say, you can't have any kind of face other than I love you on there, or they're going to punish you
That's
for
that. Owen, you kind of contradicted yourself there. You said a point of view and then said, as soon as I started calling them discers, well...
discers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it wasn't an argument. Because they were explaining like, yeah, this is definitely the thing. They were not even clarifying that it's the projection still and all that. So yeah, that makes me call them discers. Yeah.
But do you get the point I just made?
Who were the discers?
Wait a second. Let Adam go. I want to hear what Adam has to say on that.
Do you get the point then? You're no longer having any discussion with them. You've just, as you described it yourself, started calling them names. So as soon as that's it then, isn't it?
What? Is it a name being called a discer? Is it such an insult?
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why would you use it?
Don't they believe the Earth is a disc? Why is that an insult?
I don't think
I was
they-
getting,
What's
I was
so
getting my
insulting?
vinyl records.
My God, let me look up the word discourse in the dictionary for insults. It's incredible.
So I still think you're missing the point. I'm
It's
not
description.
defending them. I'm trying to point out to you. You're saying you're having a discussion with someone, but you're actually ad homing, aren't you?
Well, I'm in chat.
Oh, that's
I've
right.
never had a face-to-face discussion with Bob.
Well, does that make it all right though if you're in chat saying that on their show, on their platform?
Right.
As a mod.
Because I'm
As a
actually
mod.
getting into the substance. You know, that's
You're
what
not,
I
you
do.
just started calling them names.
I didn't call them names. I just said you're a bunch of discers.
So that, and what's that? Is that calling names?
Since when is... I want to show me where discer is an insult.
Well, why have you used it then?
As a
Because
flat
it's a
earther, if
description,
somebody
because
called
it
me
is
a disc,
it's a short
Arwen,
description of the
as a flat
entire issue.
earther, if somebody called me a disc, I'd be like, "What fucking disc are you talking about?"
Exactly, because you aren't,
Well,
because you
that's
know
a-
the difference.
Oh my God.
Arwen, it's
Stop
very
digging.
simple. Arwen, the way
Digging
this
it
show,
deeper, Arwen.
Arwen, the way this show is run, meaning Nathan's, it was a perfect example.
I'm just going to stop it there. Massive shout out to Nathan Oakley 1980 for the 79p super chat. I will buy a Mars bar with that. Thank you very, very much, Nathan. I do appreciate the support. Thank you.
Example today. QE wakes up, Terminator mad as you know what, and now we're all friends. Over there, it doesn't work that way.
I know, right? But let me tell you, I didn't just start out like, oh, Clubbusters, discers. No, not that shit. You know, this first like half an hour of just explaining, like they're presupposing
Sorry,
this. It's
I'll
a
take it back
projection.
then.
I'm pointing out the facts, and then eventually, when they don't respond or poo-poo at me, as Bob does so well, yeah, then I start calling them discers. Yeah, that's what normal people do when they're good.
Arwen, calm down. Let Adam speak, please.
Yeah. If you were
finished,
I'll take it back then. If you were polite for half an hour before you started calling names.
Hey, if I was in Iron Realm, okay, and you were talking about a subject, and I would actually address that subject within content arguments, and you would say, "Oh, the dumb Arwen, he must be drunk again," or yeah, you bet you I'm gonna troll Iron Realm chat, yeah. Yeah, but you don't do that, Adam, because you're a decent human being and you actually get what's going on.
Adam, the slides you put up, can you go over them?
I still haven't seen them.
There's only
Master B.
a couple of pages at me kids' GCSE revision books, but there's some interesting points. But they do, if you look at the bottom of the first page, they do try to justify models.
Please, hold on a second. Please, Adam, can you pull them up? Can you share them right here?
Yeah, where did I put them in? Was it in Ballbusters?
In Ball Busters. I was going in Master B's. I'm sorry.
I can screen share here anyway.
John, you need to rename your show Ball Busters.
What? It is right though.
Is Ramsey still here?
I'm still here. Yeah.
Randy's still here. Yes, he is.
Can we let Adam finish his point?
Oh, sorry.
Tony.
At the bottom of the page, I'm there. Go on.
Yeah, so it was just it's obviously quite good because it does highlight. It's worth just a little read, the 2 pages I've sent, but there's a little bit of interest at the bottom. It says theories can involve different types of models, which I find interesting being taught to kids. But I did like the last bit on the last page. Correlation does not mean cause. I just thought it'd be interesting for you guys to see what kids are being taught at 12, 13.
So you labeled this from a book. What was the book?
The book is, I'll show it you. Stop screen sharing.
Yeah.
Working.
Can you have Ranty do a little magic on this? Because I can hardly see this stuff. Maybe it's my eyes this morning.
Too much wanking that, John.
At ease!
You're not the boss of me.
No, it doesn't work. My bloody camera's died. It's the GCSE. Well, it actually, I've got all 3, physics, chemistry, and maths, and all 3 have the same introduction of the scientific method for the first 5 or 6 pages.
What does the GC, whatever you're referencing, stand for?
So, General Certificate of Secondary Education. So it's kids up to 16.
I got you.
So
okay.
Equivalent to your 18-year-old exams, sort of college level, and then so pre-A level, pre-degree.
You should do a presentation on this, Adam. We should do a go over on this.
Yeah, I thought it'd be worth a look. I'll give you a snap. I'll take pictures of it all. Let's say the first, I think it's 6 or 7 pages relate to the scientific method. 8 pages.
Let me
9 pages. 9 pages. So I'll take a picture of them all. It's worth having a little read, but
it's hard for me to read it. Is it hard for anyone else to read? Or is it just me?
Oh. Oh, by the way, I have kind of a general announcement request. I had an email from Amanda Young telling me that this guy, I don't know if you've seen him around in chats or anything, calling himself Gregory Rolland, has apparently threatened her and her kid. Didn't even know she had one. So if you see him around,
okay, Gregory Rolland
with 2 L's.
Okay.
So she told me to tell you guys.
Who's that? Who's that?
I don't know. Somebody.
Who's the lady? Who's the
Amanda
lady?
Young.
Amanda Young.
Okay.
It's a regular sponsor.
Yeah.
I think she gave you a super chat donation the other day. Anyway, she's great. She's a great lady.
But unless he actually has her address or anything, I don't see how that saying something online is going to be.
No, but I think it's the case. He even said it's like the case is being worked on and all. I have an op on him. Whatever.
So are we to time him out, or what's the request?
Just take notice if you see the guy and if he's bothering her or being really creepy.
Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha.
Which guy?
Let's expose him.
Which guy?
I don't know who he is. I just got the email an hour
What's his
ago.
username?
His name's Gregory Rowland.
Oh, right, okay.
What are you presenting here, Tony?
I wanted to show Ranty. I wanted to know how to remove backgrounds out of images. Like if you have like somebody's face and you wanted to remove the background, so that you didn't have a square background, you wanted just the face in it, and he showed me how to do it. And you know how when you learn a new skill or a trick, you end up you do way too much of it. And it's obviously that's like Brenda does it with modus tollens, right? When she learned about modus tollens, it was every other word out of her mouth. Yeah, I want to show you guys. What's happened with this.
Modus tollens.
Right, doesn't matter about the sound, but this is the end of the clip. Sean.
That's great. That's great. That's great.
Oh, you got Miles Davis there on the left.
You got to put
everybody got Miles Davis.
You got to put a big red shoe coming up.
So we've got George Netanuk, Miles Davis, Conspiracy Cats, Mr. Sensible, Knobhead, Bob the Fallacy Guy, Velcro Shoes, and Sean Huffroad.
Who the hell is
Velcro Shoes? That's Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard over on the right.
Yeah, Hillbilly Blue Balls.
You should have put some ankles in there. You should have put some ankles in there.
The guy with the super annoying voice.
Should have put who in there?
Ankles, just some ankles.
I was going to put a pair of ankles in, but I couldn't remember what video it was in.
Put a donut in there.
One day, didn't he?
Listen.
In a red shoe. You need the red pumps.
Yeah, do you know who I've forgotten? I should have put in.
That guy Shills versus Shills has that video with
the rumpus. You've got the rumpus that you can put up.
I know, and I should have put Thingy in as well.
Anthony,
he's a little guy.
Anthony, I'm dying here, Anthony.
Gem Panda.
Oh god, yeah, Gem Panda.
After you do all the, I gotta get this out, Anthony. After you do all these guys' face, you need to have an accelerating coffee cup go by, a donut go by, a red shoe go by, and a pair of pants on someone's shoulder go by.
I should have had Jeremy on it as well.
Yeah, you should get Gem Panda in that.
Can't you use that picture of Brenda?
Yeah, I suppose I could. I should have put Gem Panda in grayscale because he looks very grey, doesn't he, in that imagery that we've seen of him?
In a grayscale.
What's happened to Miles Davis? Have you missed some of his head off?
Well, he peeped behind his computer screen, didn't he? This is the edge of his computer.
No, he's got a horn. He's got a horn.
Is that a horn?
That's George's shoulder.
George's shoulder.
Oh, is it?
You need to stick George behind that baldy head.
He's got a damn horn.
Oh yeah, I could have done, but I've already. I'm starting to render it now, and it's like 45% through. But I just wanted to share it with you because obviously I've learned a new trick today, and I've just got OTT with it.
I love it. That's great.
Who said is that a horn?
Me.
Or are you just pleased to see me? Hey John, I heard you bullying Ranty before. That was very unfair.
Oh, give me a break. He was off topic.
I heard you bullying Arwin, John. That was a bit unfair.
Oh God, yeah.
John,
I woke up.
You need to get breakfast before you get on panels.
Shut up!
You need to get breakfast before you get on the panel. Seriously.
So John woke up with grumpy bear today, did you, John?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, John hasn't woken up. QE woke up. Now John's catching up.
I feel sorry.
Hey, hold on a second, Ranty. Adam and Sleeping Warrior. What fucking video is that?
Pardon?
Right. So quickly, because I've got to go. But right. So this is what I've got to do. All you want is the new, the ending putting in. Yeah.
No, all I want All I want is the new video that I gave you with him crushing the globe, right? And the green eyes turn, and I want that in the beginning of my intro.
Yeah. Anything else?
And then I already, yeah, you'll have to. I think you'll have to sync it up the music again. I think that might be a problem, right?
No, that yes, but I know I've got to do that.
I want him crushing the globe and have him turning with the green eyes. So that's a couple extra seconds.
Yeah, well, I'll jiggle that somehow. I'll have to do something.
And I already sent your copy to Sleeping Warrior to have him put the crunch into the ball busters. I already did that, but he's been friggin' sandbagging me.
I can do that now if you want me to, John.
No, it doesn't have to be right now, Anthony. I'm just messing.
No, do it right now, or
yeah, you'll get text messages.
He has time now. Never say no to somebody who has time to do it now.
Well, I'm 17% done on I'll have to wait till this is finished doing, but once this is done, it'll be fine.
Adam, just take Arwen's spot out.
What? Who are you, Randy? My spot for over a year.
He doesn't need to be in the video. Just take him out of that, and then you've got plenty of time then to fit it in.
I was thinking that same thing, how to do that yesterday when I was listening to you, Arwen. I was trying to figure out
that the ranty part in the intro is also pretty long, so no.
Yours is pretty takes up a fair bit of space, to be fair, Arwen, and that. But
hey,
I'm doing one before it gets handbaggy again, and I'm off to B&Q. So see you later, guys.
Hey, later on.
See you in a bit.
Look, I wouldn't mind if the looking over the forest part wasn't as long, and the two sentences can follow each other up pretty quickly if necessary. You know.
I like Granty's idea better.
Yeah, whatever, man.
There's a rustling in the woods.
Yeah, no, a ripple in the ether. I like that part.
What
I can't stand ether on my video, but I let it go.
Yeah, I know. You know,
I was
because
actually surprised you let that go.
You had to.
Yeah.
It's the first thing I told Adam to remove. I just want you guys to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but you kind of had to leave it in there, hadn't you?
Yeah, with a disclaimer.
You always have to leave one little bit of truth in there somewhere.
Hey, did you see Mark Taylor's comment after he's seen that intro?
Yeah, I did. That we have egos. That we have egos because we have an intro.
Yeah, these guys don't have any egos. Oh boy. Yeah.
Did you guys see how Bob basically derailed the whole fucking show on what show was it now? It was on Ballbusters. Bob's just basically, instead of like appreciating how good the video was, Bob's just trolling.
How about any show? How about over at Iron Room? Although, yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah.
How about over Jaren's over there? It's like every time Bob just comes waltzing in.
Bob. Yeah, the Ballbusters that I wanted to talk to Nathan about that, but he friggin' nicked away.
Hey, can I ask a question since I don't watch any of those shows? They're not. Is there anyone on the panel over there that's an equal to Bob, or at least on the panel member that ever challenges him live?
No.
Well,
think about it. I mean, can you imagine if
not a
Nathan
single one, not his wife, not
Oh.
Jaren, not Iru, nobody. Nobody does. Because if they do, they're immediately called back. They get whipped. In a joke version first. You know, Bob always approached them with, ha, 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 let's not go there, ha, ha, ha. You know? And then they know, oh, yeah, it went too far.
Well,
he does that constantly.
I got a beef with Adam about that. Because Bob was dogging me and Sleeping Warrior out, and Adam said, now, Adam's a sweetheart. I understand that. But he was dogging us out, and Adam, he was kind of walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is if you listen to the way John Savage starts talking, if we take his words on face value that they're true, and he's not been paying attention to who's been saying what, and he comes out and says, "Is there any like conclusive experiment that demonstrates this?" And Bob's like, "Yeah." Like Bob's next words out of his mouth were like a grunt, and it was just it was ironic that he started talking about scientific experiments demonstrating a point either way on either side. And I thought he was talking about me with knowledge, but he said he wasn't up to speed with it. And he's inviting Bob to start talking. Bob's got to talk about the egg test because that is the alternative argument. And Bob's just like, I don't want to fucking talk about this. It was the most awkward weirdness I've ever heard.
Well, based on what QE sent out, he cited an engineer as if he was talking to a science guy.
Say that again.
I said, based on what I read QE put out on that show, that Bob was citing some engineer as if the guy was a science guy doing scientific method.
Bob's really weak on scientific method and he doesn't want to learn it, but he claims he wants to talk.
No. I'm not talking about Bob. I'm talking about the engineer that he cited. Some guy he's working with. What was that all about?
Anthony didn't read that.
The word science for all kinds of things. He likes
Anthony didn't read that. I'm sorry. Anthony didn't read that. He doesn't read long posts like that. If you go into Ballbusters, I pulled out a couple of things that Bob said that you missed.
Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Anthony.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, John.
Because I don't read your posts either.
Oh, my God. In Ballbusters. Go ahead and scroll up a little bit. I pulled out a bunch of things that Bob said and then answered them in that IRM or Iron Realm Media video.
Are you asking me to do something?
Oh my God. 10th, can you translate?
Yes, he's asking you to go to Ballbusters. Just scroll up a bit and you'll see what he did by picking out some things Bob said and comment on them. That
on the Iron Realm Media video that you also did.
Yes, I did read that. The problem with Bob is he's really weak on scientific method and he uses phraseology to try and sound like he knows what he's talking about. But he fucking rapes the scientific method. He's a fucking asshole.
Hey, how about this comment? Because A, we're not going to make it out of a discussion out of semantics, and B, by making stupid terms up. By making up stupid terms. That's, you fucking idiot. That semantics prevents people from making stupid terms up.
And the other thing is, he says, what other word can we use instead of dropity? And I'm like, well, what's wrong with relative density disequilibrium? What's wrong with that term? Because it is descriptive of what we're seeing. And he just doesn't want to. It was all on the tip of his tongue, and he could have said it. And and I could see that he needed to say that, and he just didn't say it. And I'm like, you're a hater, aren't you,
it's
Bob?
because we say it, and we have cooties.
Yeah. Did you notice he described it? Did you notice he described us as camp, like coming from the Quantum Eraser Sleeping Warrior camp?
Yes.
I think the one quote that QE put up with Bob saying wraps it up is. Here's Bob. If we want to take science in an honest discussion about this, we're going to, unfortunately, have to play by their rules and their terms.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And to us, that means use their narrative to destroy their narrative.
Correct.
Brilliant.
But it also means that he has to use phrases like independent variable, hypothesis, and he doesn't like using those words. It's like he wants to redefine it himself so that he can basically say, I mean, look at him. The egg moved, right? And he admits that a force is required for the egg to move. And when he comes to addressing that point, he says, I don't accept it. And I'm like, you can't fucking not accept it, you fucking idiot.
But the fact that what he's looking at, he doesn't accept it.
Yeah. Who the fuck are you to say you don't accept it? On what basis can you not accept it?
What does he not accept?
What he's seeing.
No, this is a major...
What did he not accept?
Hey, I'm going to interrupt. You better make sure Ranty's not taping.
No, I hope he's taping because it's he is talking from a position of pride because he's not making any sense. When asked to explain, he deflects to the engineer rather than the scientific method.
Taboo Conspiracy said, God may have an up and down, but buoyancy and density explain the rest. We can't use the word buoyancy because buoyancy is a loaded term like gravity.
Massive shout out to Amanda Young who says, keep it up. I'm trying to keep it up, Amanda, trust me. I'm getting older though, but I'm doing my best. Thank you for the $5. What would it be? I don't even know what that is, but it's not a super chat. But thank you anyway. Thank you very much.
Fucking shitloads of their main arguments. So if we remove gravity, they've got fuck all for a lot of their arguments. But it is important in that context. But in our context, we don't even fucking need it. But they absolutely need it.
But hold on. Hadn't I caught Bob actually saying at another time that he did believe in mass attracting mass?
Oh, he absolutely believes in mass attracting mass.
Yeah, so he's double speaking now.
No, that was Taboo Conspiracy.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, didn't hear that part. Sorry.
Anthony, while you're on here, I want to discuss something that was highly volatile last week on ether. I said, do you need it in a closed system versus an open system? And I never got to go back and forth with you. And since we got some people here, maybe we could iron this out. My take is that we're in a closed system and the luminaries are all within this closed system. And the atmosphere...
Sorry, I didn't hear any of that. I nipped to the loo for some tweezers. Start again.
I said...
God, I hope you're not recording this, Ranty.
I'm recording, guys. I'm recording.
I knew it.
Anthony, you said the ether issue last week, and we never got to resolve it. Now, I posed a question that I don't think ever got answered properly, and I want to take the time if you guys want to. I said, do you need an ether if you have a closed system, or will the atmosphere be sufficient in a closed system, whether it's a gradient or at the bottom where it starts more dense? And we just touched on it a bit. So for me, I think if you have space in an open system, you must argue for an ether. But if you're in a closed system, and we already know that we feel the sun's heat and we see lights from the stars, and in a closed system, that's coming through an atmosphere. So what do you need an ether for if you've got an atmosphere already?
I think the purpose for the ether, I didn't understand the value of why it was important, but my understanding of it is now, and this may not be true, and anybody can challenge it, it's fine. It's to do with the how do you interpret the results of the Michelson-Morley experiment? If there's an ether, it means that the Earth is not orbiting the sun because there was no drag. If there is no ether, then it means that the Earth is orbiting the sun. So it's all dependent on how you interpret the results of that one particular experiment, apparently. But
why is Michelson-Morley fall into an experiment?
That doesn't sound like the experiment. That sounds.
Hang on, Arwen. You called it Michelson-Morley an experiment. What is the observed phenomenon?
Well, I was only referencing it, and okay, I'm aware.
What is the observed phenomenon that Michelson-Morley were trying to prove?
10th man, I wasn't making a claim. I'm just telling you the reason why I found out afterwards why it was important.
I got you. I apologize. All right. So my point is this then. Let's go back to what I'm saying. If you already have an atmosphere, and the atmosphere is allowing the sun's rays and the sun's heat energy, as well as the lights from the stars to come to our eyes, and we see things, right? Light and everything else. Then what do you need an ether for if we're in a closed system? What's an ether do that an atmosphere can't?
And if there's an ether, then we can dispense with the ball earthers' interpretation of the Michelson-Morley experiment, which is that because...
No, that's not my question. You just told me to avoid that. I'm saying, what can an ether do? What if an atmosphere does everything an ether is claimed to do, and we're in a closed system? What do you need another ether or another thing like an atmosphere when the atmosphere is doing it just fine?
Closed and stationary.
It's not us that needs an ether. It's them that needs no ether.
No, the closed has the atmosphere.
Can you just
it has nothing to do with atmosphere, Tenth. It's because of the behavior of light. And
that's the other ether based on the misassumption.
Okay, here we go, crazy.
Go ahead, right? Hey, do you understand the quantum mechanics deal with light.
Why does he ruin it?
Hey, Anon, you brought it up. You brought
Stop
it up.
referencing.
I didn't bring up ether. I know I'm
No,
bringing
you
up
brought up
ether.
your version of the ether.
Crazy
Your version.
fundamentally.
First of all, your mic is
version
bad.
of the ether.
Hold on a second.
Can we
Which
go
you
back
need
to
in
the
order for light to
decent
be awake.
conversation we were having before?
Gosh. Thank
Please.
you,
You can't have
Anon.
that when I bring that up.
Anon, why is it when you come with a bad mic and you're not even being spoken to? I'm talking to Anthony.
As soon as I joined, you brought up the ether. So shut the hell up about.
We're not talking about the same ether,
As
Anon.
soon as I joined, you
That's
brought up ether.
correlation, not
that same ether.
causation.
Mm-hmm.
That's correlation,
Mhm.
not causation. I did not bring up ether because I saw you join.
You tell us, sister.
We're not talking about the same ether.
Can we
here.
get rid of this guy because he's
No, we can't.
We can't.
Unfortunately,
We have to deal with him. But let's just clarify: we were not talking about the same
You guys
ether.
go ahead. I'll just go on mute and let
Thank
this
you.
nonsense
Thank
go.
you. So polite. So polite.
make
Finally,
that your
okay.
mantra.
Don't back kick him. He's gone on mute. So let's continue.
Okay, so
I'll
Anthony,
back kick him. I'll mule kick his ass.
But that just means he's gonna talk, and then it's gonna be a shouting match. So
okay,
let's continue the
Anon,
conversation.
Don't
Anon
kick
did the
him.
right thing. He's on mute. Thank you, Anon. All right, so back to you, Anthony, and then Anon could start a conversation later if he wants. So if we're observing in this closed system everything that's happening, and we have an atmosphere that's within the closed system, what do we need something else for the things to happen when they're already happening through the current atmosphere, whether it's a gradient or more dense at the lower levels?
Like
Just that question.
I think the same. That question is answered with the same answer. It's not us that needs the ether. It's them that needs not to have an ether.
No, that's the next place I want to go with you. But I'm saying, John, that question, the answer could be, we need it because of this, or the answer could be, hey, based on the way you asked the question, we don't because the atmosphere is sufficient. One of those two.
Yeah, it'd be the second. It would be the latter.
Watch. Say it.
Based on the atmosphere would do the same job.
Okay, great. So based on that, now we have to prove outer space, an open system, and a medium called an ether that they want to have for something that's 2 quadrillion miles away, like Polaris, they say, for that light to reach us. That's
No, they
when
don't
it
want.
only-
They don't want that to be an ether. Their view is that they don't need an ether for light to propagate because in
What
a
do they
vacuum, light does traverse through the
Right.
vacuum.
No, you're missing it.
Einstein's
You're missing
equation
it. You're
specifically
missing it.
stated
They
ether.
need Bob needs the ether for his ring laser gyro.
No, not really.
Yeah, really. That's why
No.
they.
That's
He
exactly
doesn't
why.
need it for that.
Yeah,
Okay,
Arwen,
now
yes, he does, because I've heard him say that he's trying to develop some experiment to try to prove that the ether drift is what caused his little rotation. He needs that, absolutely.
Okay. I get it. I agree that it is a hint, but yeah, you can't prove that. But anyway,
Yeah, I can prove it. He's fucking said it. It's self-evident, for fuck's sake.
It has nothing to do with Bob. Ether's been around since way before Bob.
Oh, we're talking about Bob.
Also, look what I pasted on the chat and Master B.
I don't care what you
destroys. I'm not talking to you, turd.
I don't care what
This
you paste. You're
destroys photons.
You're an
This
idiot.
Anon,
If
we
you
were
want
not
to
talking
answer
about
slow,
this.
slow-mo,
You were
We're
going to
not
be on
talking
mute.
about
He's a
photons
Ken Miller.
are very related. If you don't get
Anon,
that,
we were not talking
Don't
about
suck
that.
Ken Miller's dick.
Look
We
at
don't
him.
need you here.
Anon, come back when you want to start a topic, and we'll listen and be cordial at least. Right now, you're interrupting.
Post on Master B.
He's a Ken Wheeler
This
groupie.
shit's all over your photons.
Ken Wheeler groupie.
Okay, back to
Nothing to do with
Did
Ken
you just
Wheeler.
watch video?
oh,
Can
gosh,
we go back to the
Did
constructive
you
conversation?
see Ken
Please?
Wheeler's last
Nothing to do
video?
with Ken
Can we
Wheeler.
please go back to the constructive conversation?
Institutionalized.
Well done, Anon, for sabotaging a good argument. Well done. Claps for you.
Yeah,
I
Ken
pasted
Wheeler.
something
Well, I
in the
don't
link
think it's
in Master
sabotaging.
B. Take a look.
Get what you pasted.
You two get a
You're
separate
fucking
room or something.
your ass on Ken Wheeler's face.
I don't think it's sabotaging. He's got a counterclaim for ether.
Take a look.
Who's got a counterclaim for ether?
Take a look at
I
Master
know.
B.
Why can't we hear what he's got to say? Let Anon speak.
Ken Wheeler. Fuck him. Thank you.
I don't mind. I don't mind the non-speaking. Just wait his turn and enter in properly instead of interrupting in the middle of my question.
I want to hear him speak without him being interrupted.
Well, the fucking guy is going to do the same thing he's did for the past 18 months, right? I mean, what's
anybody else want to hear Anon?
Holy shit!
Yeah,
that means
so go ahead. I relinquish.
John, maybe it's time to get some lunch for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, why don't you just announce it over everyone?
The very same thing, Anthony, you said about Anon, you're not allowing me to have.
Me?
Yeah, you just said, hey, let Anon talk. He's got a point. But he interrupted my point in the middle of my point. But you're not giving me that right.
Oh, no, make your point.
Tough man, can you make your point?
Yeah,
please,
make your
right
point, and then Anon. I'd like to listen to Anon, actually.
Yes,
look, first of all, I don't have a problem listening to Anon when he comes in at a proper time and makes his point and allows us to rebut. I have no problem. I'm not afraid of what he's going to present. I'm going to learn something. That's my position. I speak for myself. Now, my point is on this thing with ether, and QE brought up an interesting point saying that Bob needs the ether for the ring laser gyro. I'd like for him to expand on that.
Are you talking to me?
No, QE.
I think he's gone to make some food.
Yeah, all right. I'll wait till he gets back, and I'll go ahead. You can now start.
Look what I pasted on Master B. There's a diagram. Shows the speed of light through different material. If light consists of photons, which is tiny little particles, when it slows down after light goes through water, it speeds back up again, which is a violation of the first law of thermodynamics, a violation of conservation of energy. You cannot, when the light supposedly speeds down, if it's a particle, that energy gets lost in the water or whatever medium it was going through, either via heat or whatever. But when it pops out, if it's an actual photon, then it can't speed back up, which it does, unless it's got an engine. Unless you're telling me that photons have engines.
Let him finish. Let him finish, QE.
He is. He does. He's the same fucking thing he's been saying for 18 months.
And you had no answer for this.
What the first law is.
All right. Let him finish and then answer it.
Number two.
And then answer it.
It would. Oh God. Go ahead, 10. I'm done with this fucking retard.
No, we want you to answer, but let him finish at least.
I fucking answered it. Fuck you. Fuck him.
This is called being a zealot, everybody.
Calm down,
John. This is a demonstration of zealotry.
Over and over again.
This is a demonstration of zealotry.
Ask him what the first law of thermodynamics is. Ask him what the second law of thermodynamics is. Right?
Entropy increases.
It's breakfast time.
Waves don't fucking speed up either. You dumb shit.
I think it's breakfast time, John.
Okay.
You're a dumbass. You just contradicted yourself with the law of conservation of momentum.
I did it not.
On waves. This fucking idiot thinks quantum mechanics is about photons.
Quantum mechanics, yes, based off of photons. And it's absolute horseshit.
Photons. Just photons. Let me ask you a question.
You just have to change your name,
Why do we
bro.
get interference patterns? Why do the same things happen with photons that happens with electrons? Shut up! Why does it go through electrons, molecules, and everything act the same way as photons do? Go ahead, Anon, tell us.
I don't know what the fuck you're babbling about.
Exactly.
Repeat that again, QE.
What he's saying is that in the quantum eraser experiment, it's not just photons that have been used.
Anon,
I am talking, Anon. This is your problem, man. You're always talking to people. I like you, bro, but calm the fuck down.
Oh, I'm not calm. I thought I was calm. You guys are the one.
Then don't overtalk while Chocolate's talking. Go on, Chocolate.
What I was trying to say was that it's not just photons that are being used. It's electrons, molecules, other particles that are being used and having the same effect as the photons. That's what John is telling you.
Listening to me. You're not. None of you guys are listening to me. If the photon slows down when it goes through a medium, like
here he goes again.
And because just like you talking about vacuum of space and needing a barrier. You say it a billion times. I have to say it a billion times for it to sink into your
when waves go through a medium and they slow down, Why do they shouldn't do the same thing, right? But they speed back up.
Yeah, because the waves is the rate of induction of a medium.
A rate of induction. You sound like Ken Wheeler. Please tell us about the rate of induction.
Dude, rate of induction just means the wave travels through a body. Like, for example, if you have a a bowl of shut up.
You got to slow down with the technical white.
You have a bowl of honey.
You're a fucking retard.
Let's say you have a pool that's made out of honey. You drop a boulder in there. The wave travels way slower than if you have a bucket of water. The wave, the photon does not exist. It's the wave is the rate of induction.
Induction. Look, I'm looking up induction, and that's not the definition of induction. So this is like an invention way to use it.
At which a transverse wave goes through a medium, because a wave.
Now let me ask you a question, just so I can keep up with what you're trying to say. Are you saying they measure a difference when your image here of the speed of light when it goes through different mediums of speed?
Yeah, this is not something I made up.
No, I'm not. Just hang on.
We know.
You asked me a question. Let me answer it.
It's just simple. Yes
Jesus
or no.
Christ.
No, don't blaspheme and just say yes or no. It does have an impact if it goes through some objects of slowing down and speeding up again. It's a yes or no.
That's the story that's been told. Yes.
Thank you. Now, my next question is, what light are you talking about? Are you talking about light in this closed system, or the light that's measured supposedly going through a vacuum of space? Which light have they measured?
Dude, light in your living room and then going through an aquarium and then popping out the other side.
Okay, so what does that, hang on. So what does that prove?
Massive shout out to Anthony Burrows, £4.99. Ranty, what have you created? LOL. Thank you very much. I don't know what I've created, honestly. I guess you're going to hear it for yourselves. But yeah, let's rock and roll. Let's carry on.
It proves that light cannot, if it's a photon, if it's individual particles, it cannot speed back up after it lost some of its energy going through the medium.
How do you know it lost some of its energy going through the medium?
Because it slowed down.
Slowing down?
Jesus fucking Christ.
It doesn't lose energy slowing down. It doesn't lose energy slowing down.
One more time, if you blaspheme...
Oh, it doesn't lose energy slowing down.
No,
got it.
No,
okay.
It doesn't.
All right.
Anon, don't you ever say...
The only way light loses energy is by being absorbed by matter.
Anon, don't you ever say Jesus effing Christ again.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, you're done.
I'm done. Later, fuckers.
Yeah, later. Your claim was wrong. Light speeding down does not take away its energy. It just speeds it down. That's it. There's no energy lost from the speeding down.
What does Jesus have to do with this argument?
Nothing. He's gone.
What a jerk.
Yes.
He's worse than right the hand.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, left the hand.
I wouldn't say worse, but he's definitely in the same ballpark. And I like the guy, man. There are times I like him, but whenever it's like whenever we talk about fucking photons or light or something, he pops up with his fucking shit. I don't get it, man.
Anon to go to a Muslim country and say that about Allah or Muhammad in open public. Come on, Anon, speak it out.
Yeah, right.
How would you know he would even say it face to face to anyone?
He wouldn't. He knows the ramifications. Right. He knows that we are called to forgive those who offend.
Right.
But he knows that the other Muslim religion doesn't. They just kill you.
Right. Hey, 10th man, I do sometimes say Jesus effing Christ or whatever too, but it's when I'm serious, when I'm pissed off, and then I call upon him. Hold on. Then I call upon him to basically help me through that. It's genuine. It's not to annoy somebody. I would never just say that like what he did to piss somebody off.
Look, if you're saying,
I wouldn't do that.
If you're saying Jesus in the sense of G-E-E-S-E-S, which is fine, I guess, but it sure sounds a lot like J-E-S-U-S, so I wouldn't even do it. Why do you even do it?
Yeah, but unfortunately, people don't say G's.
Yeah, they don't say.
I mean, I do. Look, I do the same thing. Something pisses me off. I say, "Geez, fuck." I do that too. But I don't do it to people to offend them.
exactly.
Or not to offend Jesus himself.
Exactly.
I just do it because it's like a habit,
If Anon said "geez," I wouldn't have said anything. He didn't say "geez."
No, but hold on, 10th man. The thing is about this, and I kind of agree with Chocolate. I'm glad he agrees with me on this, and that is that if you just swear because you're really pissed off, it's from your own anger, then yeah, you can actually get Christ into it. Just don't get too ugly, don't get super evil.
Why?
Because hold on, let me finish. Because it's calling upon him to help you.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, that's a new one. I would rather hear the worst.
Basically,
I would rather hear the worst sailor talk in the bar than hear that.
All right. Well, I agree that Jesus effing Christ is definitely not.
Isn't that maybe something that maybe that's why people started using it in that way? Like they would be in trouble or something and fucked up in the game, and they'll be like, "Jesus, help me," something like that. I'm not trying to defend it.
I know.
10th man,
I'm
at
not
all.
saying you are.
Yeah.
Look. There's a reason.
On the other hand, if somebody would say, "God damn it,"
it's the same.
That would be, but that is. You can't interpret that as something good because it is damning, and that.
Look, I
used to say that a lot. And it's actually not good for you. But actually being angry and then calling upon Christ and limiting your swear words, very important. You don't have to rule it all out. There's some genuine anger sometimes. It's not that bad.
Somehow you've changed this to that you start a prayer with the F word and you're calling upon Christ. Give me a break. That's not calling upon Christ.
No, it's about the intention.
No, it doesn't. Okay, let me put it this way. Every word we utter.
It's all hang on. Expressive, 10th man. It's not lit.
Oh gosh. Look, I have to give answer to God for my life. All right? Everything I've ever said, everything I've ever thought, everything I ever do, I will have to answer. Now, being a Christian, the promise and the guarantee is that all my sins are forgiven. So what happens for a Christian is that everything he does after his conversion, he's going to answer to God because there are rewards in heaven. And obviously, if you live a holy life, you're going to be rewarded more, as the Bible says. But it's not about salvation anymore. But for a person who's not a Christian, every word, every action, every thought will be the evidence used against them when they're being judged for eternity. So my concern for Anon is, hey, I would rather have you say the F word 10 times over than to curse the Lord's name, because your punishment's going to be more. I'm thinking for his soul.
No, but I disagree to that.
That's okay.
Can I explain myself?
Yeah,
I understand your point very well.
I understand your point very
well. But I have a counter argument to that, and that is that in my personal view, it's not literally about the words. It's about the intention. If you're going to, for example, be confronted in a debate and you find out the opponent is a Christian, and you're then going to like evilly attack him like, Jesus, and get really, that is blaspheming. Then you're literally violating it on purpose with that intention. That is blasphemy.
Point well taken.
But if you just express being very pissed off and you use Jesus in there, it's not very elegant, and especially Christians that don't like swearing will not like it. Of course, I'm not saying you should like it or accept it, okay? But it is not blasphemy, because you can technically consider it's all an attempt to express the anger inside. And if you call upon Jesus with that, well, Jesus actually asks him to ask for his help. So it's a matter of perspective and intention.
Arwen, point well taken on intention, but you're wrong, and here's why. Because we're commanded. Hang on. From the same scriptures that I cited everything else, I am citing this, that we are to have a holy manner, a holy lifestyle, and that our language should portray that. Now, do all Christians do that? No. We know that for sure. Now, they will stand in judgment for that. Okay?
I know.
So that's all I'm saying.
I know.
I'm not your judge. I'm not the judge of Anon. God is. And I'm saying tread carefully.
I do.
Not you, Anon, because if he's going to blaspheme the Lord's name like that, his punishment is going to be more, and I don't want that.
Isn't Anon an atheist or an agnostic?
No, he says he's an agnostic. I think he
right.
said
So,
to me.
but that means that he's not certain. So apparently he doesn't give that much for it.
Well, whatever he is, I am caring for his eternal soul by trying to say, hey, why don't you say it in the different words? And what does he do? He just repeats it. So he proved your point of intentionality to piss me off. But he wasn't pissing me off. I wasn't doing it because I took it personally.
All right.
It's not me he's offending.
Right. I get it. Okay. But
anyway, I think
as a small rebuttal, though, like if Brenda, and you know Brenda, if yeah, exactly. Oh, God. Yeah. You know she's like total hardcore atheist. She doesn't give a shit. So if she did that, would you then try to whatever the person, Brenda? If you would you then try to restore that, or
yes,
or is actual awakening to God and acceptance of it up to the own individual?
No,
because if you don't believe in God, then threatening with you can go to hell because you're swearing, they only get agitated.
No, Arwen, you're missing
because it doesn't mean anything to them. That's
Arwen, we're not going to hell because we're swearing. Why? What? You don't understand the message in the scriptures yet, the way Christians.
No, I do.
Okay, then let me say this: you don't go to hell for swearing.
I know. You go to hell for actual blasphemy. You go to hell for blasphemy. What is blasphemy? It is the intention. It is the will to oppose God.
Well, you give me a few minutes uninterrupted to express what I'm trying to say.
That was very short.
No, I just need your permission to express what I want to say.
Sure.
So, and then you can question me afterwards if you like.
All right. Don't take too long, please.
Okay. Oh, God.
Arwen, you're not serious, man. You're not going to seriously tell him, don't take too long.
I said a few minutes, which
Come on,
means
Arwen.
2 or more, all right, or 3 or more, whatever people want to express. It won't take long, Arwen. We are alienated from God because of sin, because the results of the fall. That's why we were kicked out of the garden, the perfect place where God dwelt with mankind. In that case, Adam and Eve, the first 2. So there's a separation between God's family of people and himself. And because God is perfect, he can't have that. So he banned them. But he wants to show his grace and his love and his mercy, but he's got to execute his wrath and judgment at the same time because he can't change who he is. He's perfect. Mm-hmm. So his mercy, his love, and his forgiveness and his grace is shown throughout the history as the Bible describes it up to now and into the future with the book of Revelation, that God is reconciling men and women back to himself. And the payment for the sin that God will accept is the death, burial, resurrection of his son, Jesus Christ, for all sins, all blasphemies, everything. Okay? So, except for one, the blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, but I don't want to divert. So, if I curse, I'm supposed to curse because I'm fallen. Okay, cursing is a part of the fall. Lying, cheating, lusting, all of these things we all have these issues with that we have to fight. Let me finish. So, we are separated from God. So, someone says to me, "Well, can a prostitute ever get saved?" The answer is yes. Can a murderer ever repent and get saved? The answer is yes. Yeah, but he's already murdered someone. Understandably, but that's because of the fall. And so God is trying to turn that around the only way God can do it. He had to punish someone for everyone's sin, and that was Jesus Christ. But Jesus Christ could not stay dead. He had to rise to conquer sin and death, and he did. So when a person is in Christ, when he dies, God overlooks all the sin that would have damned him. But a person who dies that is not in Christ, God doesn't look over the sin, and he's damned because we're damned from the beginning. We are separated already from God. I don't need one more curse to separate me more. I need forgiveness. And so when I reach out to people in a loving, caring way to say, hey, at least minimize your time in hell by not doing too much bad, if you're never going to repent, But I would wish you would repent and accept God's free gift of salvation. Because that's God's terms, not my terms.
Excuse me? Limit your time in hell? I thought hell is eternal.
Limit your punishment. Excuse me for the misspeaking.
All right.
Everyone will have the correct judgment for all their sins in hell. We don't get it here on earth, but we will get it there. And everyone will be forgiven of all judgment when they're found in Christ because he took your sin. That's the Christian message. Now, if someone wants to go and curse the name of Jesus for that, that's just going to add to their punishment. And I would not like that for them.
Right, I agree.
Okay, then we're fine.
Him.
Then we're fine.
On purpose. Like, don't... I agree.
Okay, then we're fine.
Right.
Can I just say that was the most boring-ass conversation ever?
And longer than 2 minutes. A lot longer.
Let's not do a religion talk again.
I didn't do a religion talk.
Whatever. Let's not do that again. Whatever it was.
Whatever
Arwen,
it was.
Seriously, you got to stop complaining about people talking because, come on, Arwen.
Joke, man.
Arwen, brother. I love you to death, man, but come on. Sometimes you're very winded with your explanations and whatever you're talking about. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like it because you're just saying it again and again and not in a joking manner, right? Come on, man. Just be fair.
Come on. He does sneaky jokes on me all the time, and I never catch him on it. Okay, can I please?
Arwen, we're fine. We ended it well. We're fine. I don't know what Anthony's talking about.
I'm just saying that was the most boring conversation I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
And I
it
don't
wasn't
mean
with
that
you. It was with Arwen. It was with Arwen.
I know, but it wasn't meant as a personal attack either way. I'm just saying that like this topic's not really about that topic. So let's
Arwen and I were on topic.
Ooh. Hey guys, since both Anon and QE aren't here anymore, light is a beam. It's a beam. It's not a wave. It's not a particle. It's a beam, and it's infinitely divisible. I
like to get back to the ether and why the people who lie to us about everything else, what their view is on it, and why is Bob having his view on it, and is there a connection?
I don't know. I'm bothered by the whole ether thing because I don't see why we need that if we already live in a medium. Why do we need another medium?
Now, Paula and Anon Moda are going at it in Master B and chat. I just realized.
I saw that.
That guy.
Well, hey, they got a room together.
Oh boy!
I advised them.
I'll have to come back to this later because it seems like it's going to be an hour.
Right. No, but the whole ether thing, it is a new ground, and I'm already seeing several different things concerning the concept, and that is that there are different concepts that cover different regions.
So how does Bob see it then, in your viewpoint? How does Bob decipher ether versus a glober?
Well, Bob
sees the ether as the reasoning behind his...
Hang on, Chocolate. That was for Arwen, but I want to hear your point. But I do want to hear your point. Go ahead.
You want to go first, Chocolate?
No, all I'm saying is Bob, as far as the ether is concerned, that's what's causing the 15-degree rotation drift or whatever he saw in his gyro.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
So whatever it is, he's literally trying to prove the ether exists. Right. I've heard him say it. So it's not like...
And what about you, Arwen?
Well, I agree to that, and I actually find that somewhat worthwhile pursuing in general. Problem is, however, he's overstepping his bounds and he's growing beyond the reliable source of empirical evidence. He's just over-speculating, in my personal opinion, and that's fine, but then he lays solid claim to this like it's all... Like he's so much more advanced. He goes into scientism territory. That's my real big problem with him. But yeah, there is something to the ether from several different types of approaches. There is, of course, the mistake about ether concerning light to be a wave, and then there must be an ether in order for the light to propagate. well, that's just a minor form of ether that's purely relating to the nature of light, and it is based on a mistake because light isn't a wave. Definitely is not a wave.
So, Arvid, did you
that's
hear?
just one version. The other version is the mysterious source of energy, the ungrabbed energy that can be tapped into by technical means. So there is some energy. It's normally kind of not ever present. It's not like a giant glowing light bulb, this world. But there is this energy. That is also another concept of the ether, and that is the one that Tesla mainly followed up. It's electrical. It's the electrical ether.
Can I
light-based ether and electrical ether.
Okay, got it. Now, can I connect the common denominator between what you and Chocolate said? All of this is connecting to the 15-degree movement, correct?
No, only the light-based ether concept.
Okay. Chocolate, you with me on this? The 15-degree?
Yes.
All right. So remember earlier in the show, I said that as the sun traverses the earth, they measure 15 degrees per hour.
Yeah.
And that breaks down to 4 minutes is each 1 degree, and 1 minute equals a quarter degree. So they have the longitudinal lines, the vertical north and south lines, 15 degrees apart. Each one is an hour, creating a 360, right? And so you have your full 24-hour day there.
Yes.
Okay. So now hang on. There's a connection here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we believe that we're flat and stationary, and it's the luminaries that are turning around us, and not always in the same way, because obviously in the wintertime, the sun is lower in the horizon and much higher in the summertime in the horizon. So it's got a circuit, but it does this on target to each month of each season all the time. And it's this 15-degree movement per hour. And it's the luminaries that are moving over a flat earth. So if the earth is stationary and flat and the luminaries are moving in this differing circuit, how does that tie to ether at all?
It doesn't. It could be an aberration. It is a concept framework to fill in these mysterious phenomena.
It's not mysterious when the
sun is
moving.
Do you know why this happens? Why light rotates like 15 degrees? Do you know why the globe of the heavens is the way it is? No, it is a big mystery.
No way. You just took it away from what I'm saying. Let's go back to what I'm saying. We experience, I don't experience a globe of the heavens. I experience the sun going down and the sun coming up on a regular basis, season by season, in different parts of the sky that's repeated for thousands of years. Now, I haven't been around.
Man, you know what I mean with globe of the heavens. Come on.
I know, but I'm trying to pinpoint this and get something out of it, where Bob has to bring in an ether to describe a 15-degree movement when all we have to do is say the luminaries are moving 15 degrees.
Well, the funny thing is, a good reason I also originally called it the globe of the heavens is because of this. Well, the Earth rotation seems to have been clearly derived from this, presupposed ether light rotation. So if I call it a globe of the heavens, you can literally, it's already a hint as to the connection, see?
Well, what they've done, Arwen, is they've done, in my opinion, and I'm researching this through the sextant and ancient navigation methods. What they've done is they've taken the movement of the luminaries that are constant throughout the different seasons, and they're always in the same spot. This is how we can foretell Halley's Comet, and this is how we can foretell all the eclipses in advance.
Yes.
I'm holding a book in my hand that says Long-Term Almanac, year 2000 to 2050, for the sun and the selected stars. How in the world would I know that, where the sun and stars will be in 2050 if they're not consistent? Yeah. So what they've done is they've taken what is consistent to a flat earth and they've repackaged it to the globe earth and say the earth is turning 15 degrees per hour rather than the luminaries. This is their trick.
Yeah, that is exactly the trick.
Okay, so then Bob comes in and says, which is to be a lot simpler for Bob if he's a flat earther, which I don't know if he is or not at this point. If he's a flat earther without his pride in the way, he's going to say, well, of course the stars are moving and the sun is moving and the moon is moving. It's obvious. We have an almanac dated to the year 2050 and probably further if they like, saying where it's going to be. So I'm trying to figure out why he has to bring in the word ether.
Because ether is the concept to fill in the reason why, just as gravity is the conceptual reason to fill in why, the division up and down. Remember? That's it.
So
It's an aberration. It's just like that. And Bob is just biting in it full out. He believes in it. He doesn't.
I need your help to understand what you just said. So he's thinking ether is the reason why the sun is moving?
Yes. Why the globe of the heavens move? Yes.
Okay, so they can't just be designed to do that. There's no
reason for it.
Wait a minute.
To fit it in. See?
Okay, so is Bob? So Bob doesn't think that it's a design within a closed system that repeats itself yearly, annually, monthly.
No, he definitely believes that.
Okay, so but he's saying
a rotating energy field basically that causes all this because he needs a reason to be there.
Okay, so when Genesis, and I go to Genesis because it says why the stars, the sun, the moon are there, times and seasons. He doesn't accept that there's a creator that just said it that way.
No, it's not about that. It's not how it arrived there. It is about the technical, mechanical nature behind it. You know. That's what he needs to know. And so he can't fill it in. So he's using this ether as basically an aberration to say, oh, that's the reason. Now, to him, he has an answer. See, that's what that is.
Okay, so in his mind, the ether is the gas that makes the engine go.
No, ether is the reason, is the energy field or whatever that guides light and that causes the rotation of the globe of the heavens and the light gyro compass thing. Laser gyro.
Well, that's a wild guess if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, but that's how it works. It's just like why ballers presume gravity.
But ether is supposed to be a medium. A medium can't be the cause.
They need the answer.
A medium can't be the cause.
I know.
So then he's dead.
No, he just needs an answer to something that cannot really be answered. But there's the aberration, there's the effects, and then there's a concept that unifies them. It's called the ether, and he wants to believe it because he needs that answer for himself.
If you were Bob, and you've listened to him enough to hopefully paraphrase him properly, if you were Bob and I asked you, Bob, explain what the ether is, what would he say?
Well, he would probably go by what we all just said, like the rotation and the globe of the heavens. Well, he wouldn't use those same words, but he would get into a lot of technical references. But that
ether becomes the cause rather than the medium?
I don't know. I haven't heard anybody confront him on the technicals like that face to face before.
That would be an interesting direct question to ask him to define ether.
It definitely would, but yeah, he's also very good at avoiding the people that would typically do that face to face. You know, so.
Well, catch me up with Bob then. Is Bob some kind of Mr. Moneybags that everybody has to shut up when they're around him, or what?
No, do they fuck?
Huh?
I'll leave it to Riley to answer that.
Everybody seems to want to shut up around Bob. They want to walk around on eggshells, but I don't really. If Bob's wrong on something, or he starts, I'm the first one to say, "Hey, hang on a sec, that's not fucking right." But not many other people want to. Don't know why.
Right, but what's causing, say, for example, again, I don't know any of it, but why wouldn't Jaron be as upfront with Bob as he is with others? What's keeping Jaron from doing that? Who runs the show? What things are ramified to it if he does? If he gets on the wrong side of Bob?
If they had a bad enough fallout and they went their separate ways, then Globebusters kind of dies, doesn't it?
Okay, so who runs Globebusters then?
Used to be Jaron, but he gave it to Bob.
And he gave it to Bob. Okay, but Jaron never challenges Bob like he should.
No, what's interesting is the way they deal with it is they go silent.
Okay, so again, you just validated what I said. They go silent instead. But this show, we don't go silent. We just duke it out.
I never go silent.
No, this is what's good about conversation. Right or wrong, everyone gets to express what they need to say. I mean, this is what's beautiful about this platform. I just can't believe that Bob, Jaron, and whoever else is Dirt or whoever else is on that show is forced to be silent.
Don't forget Iru.
And I don't know. I don't know people. I don't know these people.
Iru? What, you don't know Iru from South America? From what is it? Brazil?
I've heard of him.
He's pretty awesome. He was at the Amsterdam conference.
He says he doesn't watch Glowbusters. He said it numerous times. 10th Man doesn't watch Glowbusters.
Right. Oh, like you've never watched it. Okay.
No, what happened was I found Nathan Oakley through Glowbusters. What happened was I was doing my research back then, and I was listening. Glowbusters was, I guess, I don't know if it was recently new or whatever, but I finally found out what Glowbusters was. And I said, oh, okay, I'll go see what they got to say. And it was like the first show, maybe the second at the latest, no more, because I can't think of listening to him much more than that. Bob said, oh, there's these, and I'll say it the way I think I heard it. I may be off by a few words, but Bob said this, quote unquote, yeah, those guys over the pond, those lads, man, they get a little rough. I go, pond,
really?
lads, get a little rough. Who is he talking about? And then he mentioned Nathan Oakley. And so I said, who's Nathan Oakley? And so I clicked on Nathan Oakley 1980 or whatever I clicked on, his other channel, I can't remember. And next thing I know, I'm listening to this debate format that we're currently on. Never thought I was going to be on it. I just listened to it and I go, man, this is where the action is.
That's when the puns started up, didn't they?
No, I wasn't on yet. And so I listened to a few of them.
Yeah, but you got them in their mind, didn't you?
No, my puns started with me before I got to the show. I brought them here.
Right, that's what I said. That's what I said.
All right, good. I don't know what you... Anyway, let me finish the story. So I'm listening like an audience member would, and I'm saying, dang, this is where the action is. That's boring over there with Jaron and those guys. And so I started listening to a couple of shows, I think. And next thing I know, I hear Nathan, I can't remember how long into listening, saying, okay, QE said the sword has two edges. I'm going to have to go on the Glowbusters and do it. And I listened to that show when he fought for the scientific method. And that was the end of Bob.
Yep. Yes, it was.
That was the end of Bob. And I said, I found me a champion for truth.
Yeah, agreed.
And how I got on panel, don't ask me, but I got
Fuck, on. Man, I'm trying to hear a 10th Man story and fucking co-workers fucking talking to me. It's like, fuck, man, leave me alone.
Well, Chocolate, I must say, you use the F word properly there. Thank you.
I want to know what Chocolate's story is, because I can't remember Chocolate not being on the show very easily anymore. And he's just kind of like a fixture that's always there now.
I just random.
I do remember a time when he wasn't there, but I don't remember how you ended up getting on the show, Chocolate. What happened?
Hell yeah, I do. He just popped in there. It's like, hi, guys. And
yeah, that's literally what I did.
Yeah, I remember it.
I think my first episode was 143, if I remember correctly.
Right. And he mostly just hung in there, said a couple of background things. And then eventually he got the word and was like, whoa, this guy actually paid a lot of attention.
143, that's ages ago. You haven't been on that long, have you?
Yeah, man.
That's almost longer than Ranty.
It's only this past year has been more regularly. But back then, yeah, I would hop on when I had time, when I wasn't working. When Nathan was still doing it on the weekends. Yeah, man. You hear me sporadically, but it's just this past year that it's been more regularly.
I think I came in show 60. I think it was show 60. What's that, Ranty? I think I came in about show 60. Was my first appearance on there. And at the time, me and Nathan had been... You know, we didn't like each other at all. And it was only Tony that got in touch with me and said, I need you to come on, because it's me against like 8 ballers or 9 ballers, and I need you to come on and do a presentation and shut them up for me. I was like, where is it? He said, it's on Nathan's show. I went, piss off. And he goes, go on, please come on, please. I'm like, oh.
So Ranty, how did you meet up with Sleeping Warrior?
I did a video titled Blackpool Tower from Southport. So I went to Southport, filmed it, put it up online, and then I was obviously checking, because back then I had a few hundred subscribers. I think I had about 500 subscribers or something, and it was from my chemtrail videos and stuff. But it was the first time I was looking into Flat Earth, and I took the P900 out, went to Southport, filmed Blackpool Tower, put a video out, titled it Blackpool Tower from Southport. And then I noticed when I typed my name into YouTube, I'd seen that somebody had put a video up about me. And it was Sleeping Warrior who'd gone live immediately after I'd put the video up, or within a few hours, and had been saying, oh, it looks like I have a new fanboy. I think he called me a fanboy.
No,
and I'm like,
fan. Didn't call you a fanboy.
And I was like, who the hell is this guy? And you can listen, his cogs are turning as he's going through the video. Oh, who's this guy? Putting a video out about Blackpool. Oh yeah, obviously it's a troll account. And then he goes, listen.
You were a fan. I didn't think you were a troll.
And then he goes, oh, actually, he might be a flat earther. In the video, he goes, oh, actually, he might be a flat earther. Oh, actually, he is a flat earther. Oh, I take that back then. But he still released the video, still released it. So I messaged him. So I left a video, I left a comment on his video, and I went, what the hell are you talking about? Fanboy, question mark. What?
I didn't say fanboy, I said fan.
Fan. I'm sure it was fanboy, though. I seem to remember fanboy stuck.
Don't play the victim card, it wasn't a fucking derogatory.
And I was like... Anyway, so I sent him a message. We got a bit of back and forth, and then he says, "Well, do you want to come to Liverpool and do an observation with me? Because I didn't know any of this drama that Tony had been into with who was it? The guy that does the photography.
Oh, that one. Okay.
The old, like an Australian guy, Tony. You know who it is.
Dazza the cameraman.
Dazza the cameraman. That's the one. Yeah. So I didn't know any of this drama that he'd been going through, and. Yeah, he said, "Oh, come to Hoy Lake and do an observation with me." So that was the first time. I think, I don't know, within a week of my journey on Flat Earth, researching it with a P900, Tony had found me out, searched me out, and got me to come to Hoy Lake and take those beautiful Flat Earth proofs that we did from Hoy Lake.
If you think about it, Ranty, that Blackpool Tower observation from Hoy Lake's probably one of the strongest work we've done, because it's so far and it's at night time and there's fuck all refraction.
Yeah, just seeing the mirror ball was just fantastic. I mean, that was the killer for them.
Is that on the... Can you post that again to watch on Master B?
What, the image? Yeah, I'll have to dig it out.
Yeah, whatever you did, just so I could see what you guys did.
Yeah, well, we saw 29.3 miles. And we saw the mirror ball, which was... I think the mirror ball was only about 28.5 miles away. But it was only about 50 feet above actual sea level at the time. So, it was just game over there and then.
That's great.
And yeah, so that's how I met Tony. And then me and Nathan, our first interaction was about the video that I put out about chemtrails.
Yeah,
Chem burns. And what had happened, what had happened is that we were in Isa Mahowski's chat, and I think I was on the panel, or I was in the chat. Anyway, I was in the chat or something, and the Globe trolls descended on there. And I didn't realise they were setting him up. So they set him up and said, oh, there's a new flat earther here called Ranty, yeah, to Nathan. He's got a video about chemtrails out. And I thought, so I checked Nathan's channel, and I thought, oh, he's a flat earther. That's excellent. That's good. And I said, yeah, go and have a look at it, mate. Yeah, no problem. I didn't realise that knowing Nathan, what Nathan's burden of proof thing would be, was the case he was going to watch that video and think I was off my head. And when he came back and he said something and he was like, load of codswallop or something like that, I went, you fucking what? So it started a fucking war between us. And they set us up. There's
a better version. Let me tell the better version of that, Ranty.
Go on.
Antonio Subirats had invited us up to a Blackpool meetup. And it was a glorious summer's day. And it's funny because I remember thinking on the day, I looked at the temp gauge in the car and it said 21 degrees outside, but it was way warmer than that for some reason. Ranty was right. It was showing quite cool, but it was actually really warm. So we went up there and the sun was beating down and it was nearer to 30. It was definitely not low 20s or even mid 20s. It was nearer to 30. It was glorious. Ranty, like a fucking tourist, is walking around. He's got his sleeves rolled up so that he's got like a tank top kind of thing on. Instead of a t-shirt, he's kind of rolled his sleeves up so he's got a tank top. And I think I might be right in saying that he rolled up his fucking kecks as well, so he was kind of in shorts. But that might not be true. He might have had shorts on.
I think
but in any event,
that.
Ranty's walking around like a fucking dick tourist.
A dick?
And I'm laughing at him thinking, what a knob. Anyway, there was this overwhelming power of the sun that day, which was really weird because the temp was really low on the car relative to what it felt like it was. Now, I know that we're Brits and a little bit of sun and we all get excited, and it's true. But nonetheless, I'm quite a good judge of the temp outside, and it was definitely warmer than what it was saying on the car. And I never noticed it at the time. It was only when Ranty mentioned it afterwards, and I realised, fucking hell, yeah, that is what the car said, and that was lower than what it should be. Anyway, Ranty come home and he got third-degree burns on his face. And he put a video up to that effect. And to be fair, he did get a lot of sunburn. But he said it was to do with a particular chemtrailing plane, right? And I was like, nah, fuck that. It was just because you were being a fucking tourist. And he wouldn't accept it was because he'd just been out in his t-shirt.
I'm still not going to accept it.
I know, but it was the cause, wasn't it? Let's be honest. You didn't put any sunscreen on.
No, I'm not going to accept it. I've been working outside with my granddad since I was like 5 years old, like labouring for him on the weekends, right? But literally working outside probably all my life since the age of 14, let's say 14, window cleaning and then going on to decorating, right? I have been outside all the time and never got burnt. I've never put sunscreen on ever in my entire life. And I've been out for 10 hours a day, 11 hours a day in sunshine that was in the 30s, right? Back in, the early 90s, when the temperature was really warm back then. You were talking it was in the 90s. Never wore sunscreen, never got burnt. This one particular day, like I say, this day that we went to meet, I filmed this plane, and I'm telling you now, I filmed the plane. I was filming chemtrails. I've been filming them for about 2 years on my channel. I filmed this plane in the distance because I saw it laying this chemtrail and it was ginormous. This whatever was coming out of the back of it was humongous compared to any of these other planes that were flying around. So I got the camera out and filmed it. And then, for the next 2 hours, I continued to film this damn chemtrail as it slowly spread out. It didn't disperse. It spread out slowly, and you could see it growing. And I monitored it. I filmed it. I kept on filming this damn chemtrail. The first time I met somebody as a flat earther outside the pleasure beach, this was such an odd event that I was making a point of recording it and telling people about it. Yeah. And then when I actually, the next morning, when I was completely fucking burnt to a shred, right, I realised that, hey, this may have had something to do with it. And when I looked into it, it was cold fly ash. If you look into the kind of different things that they use with chemtrails and stuff, there's different things that they put into it. And this particular one was called cold fly ash. I got in touch with somebody who told me this, explained what it did. And this was the exact thing. What they'd done, they expected this chemtrail to spread out really quick, but because on this day they put this chemtrail out, there was no wind going around to disperse it, right? So it was just a concentrated mix of this of this chemtrail. So we got additional burns from that, and I wasn't the only one who got it. Other people got it too.
Well, that was my next point. I was there for maybe an hour less than Ranty that particular day. I wasn't there as long as Ranty was. Might have been 90 minutes. I can't really remember. But I didn't get any sunburns, Ranty.
No. Well, I'd been... Don't forget, though, I was the first person there. I got there at 11:30. You didn't turn up till near 2 o'clock, right?
I can't remember.
Now, and I'm just saying that because I'd been working outside my entire life and never received any kind of burns like that, right? In hotter temperatures. I mean, that day on the scale, it was only supposed to be like early 20s, like 22 degrees or something. When you came and I told you about this, you said, "Oh, that's weird, actually, yeah," because I put the chemtrail out to you, and you said, "It feels warmer than 22, doesn't it? It feels like 30." Yeah, because on the way down, the car was only saying 22. But when you actually got to where we were, it felt incredibly warmer than that, like it was magnified.
Yeah,
I wasn't I'm not exaggerating about this. This isn't something that I just decided to just make up. This was fucking, in my opinion, this was real, and I'm just going to stick to that 100%. I'm never going to deviate.
Say what you want to say.
It's very interesting. I'm not criticizing you or anything. It's fascinating. So if Riley didn't get burned, then maybe, look, it's a combination of chemicals, right? So maybe some of these chemicals would go down a lot faster, would not be dust-like particles that would stay visible up there, but would sink down, and maybe you got hit with that, and Riley arrived later, and then all that dissipated. Who knows? But I had a question concerning that mixture you mentioned. What is that? I've never heard of that.
It's called coal fly ash, and it's a particular chemtrail substance or term for what they're using in that particular chemtrail, and it's supposed to reflect the sun's sunlight back into space. That's the design of that particular chemtrail.
But what is in it? Well, what does it compose?
I'm not entirely sure what's in it.
What do they say about it? What do they suspect?
Well, this is I'm not entirely sure what's in on it. Like I say, the guy that was doing the research on these different chemtrails, I put this information out to him, what had gone on. He told me that it sounded like coal fly ash. I might have the document for coal fly ash radiation, I think it's called. But it seems like that's what...
Radiation? So
it's like a radiation.
Radioactive elements in them, like barium, probably?
I'll have to find the PDF that he sent me, if I've got it still.
Geoengineering.org, Arwen? Geoengineering.org. That guy's
I have a relative decent knowledge about geoengineering and the stuff they use. I had some contact with people that were very deep into it like 10 years ago. Even made
what I'm saying is that on that site he describes all the different things that they've measured when they take soil samples, so you might find it there.
Yeah, that could be correct.
Okay, but a link would be great.
Geoengineering.org.
Yeah, but then I have to dig.
They just have to type.
Type, yeah, you just have to type.
Ranty, let me give you a similar experience. I'm Mediterranean skin. I tan easy. I look really dark in the sun, and I never get sunburn. And if anything, I never use suntan lotion ever. And
me neither.
And
what was the short again? Sorry, Ranty.
Geo.
No, not the name, but the thing.
Coal fly ash. Coal fly ash.
Coal fly ash.
Yeah. He can type that in, but not geoengineering.org. All right.
No, that's where I'm looking. Coal fly ash. Factory direct fast shipping. What the?
All right. So, Ranty, being that I tan easy, never use suntan lotion, I've experienced to the T how you explained happened to you here when they camped tray above me. To the T.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because I've had to come in and say, I need a shirt. It is killing me out there. But why? It's never killed me before. And I look up in the sky and I see these chemtrails. I say, maybe it's that.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, I mean, like I say, I watched this. I'd been filming chemtrails for 2 years, and I had seen in the past maybe one or two chemtrails that had exhibited a similar thing where it lingered. But this thing was just different. It was different from all the rest. It was so much bigger, so much more came out of the back of that plane that it instantly made me start recording it as soon as I saw it. And I filmed it from like 9:30 in the morning till probably around about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it lingered all day long. No clouds rolled in, no other chemtrails were laid on top of it. It was just this one fat cloud of chemtrail that started off in a very small, long, thick clump, and gradually expanded ever so slowly. But it just seemed that because I got to the pleasure beach at 11:30, I was directly underneath that damn thing. The chemtrail was right above me, and the sun was right above me, coming up to midday, and everything was like, the sun's rays were having to go through the chemtrail first before reaching me, right? And I was out in that till 4 o'clock.
The other alternative is that Ranty was that starstruck because Antonio Subirats was there. He lost track of reality and just forgot that he was out in the baking sun for the day.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. But the simple fact
if you remember,
is,
Ranty, you were sucking his dick so much at the time that even I said to you, Ranty,
him.
that guy's not a particularly nice guy.
I
and
liked
you were like,
him.
yeah, but he's famous. And I'm like, yeah, but he's a bit of a dick.
No, it wasn't. It was famous. I just liked him. I met him. I enjoyed his company. He talked nice. He talked well. You know, we got on. We seemed like we had a lot of things that were in common. I actually quite liked the guy. You know, I have to admit it. Events in the future have proved what a twat he is. But like I say, when I met him that one time, I actually quite enjoyed his company.
Well,
Starstruck.
We know one thing. If you showed up 2 hours later, like Sleeping Warrior, you wouldn't have been burnt.
He turned up after Sleeping Warrior. He was the last person.
No. See, you said you got there at 11, and Sleeping Warrior didn't get there till 2.
Yeah. Antonio got there at 3.
All right. So then I'm correlating that if you would have just been late, you wouldn't have been burnt.
Yeah.
It could be.
But the whole point of this is that in my entire life, prior and since, I've never, ever, ever had burns like that in my entire life. Ever. Right? So that's just a simple fact of the
But you've never met Antonio again, though, have you?
No, forget Antonio. I don't want to dilute this point. The point is...
Oh, another correlation.
Even though that I've worked outside for 10, 11, 12 hours at a time in baking hot sunshine and never wore sunscreen, I have never been burnt like that in my entire life. That's the point.
What were the burns like? Can you roughly describe?
Fucking hell, did you not see my face? Some of the images that people have put out. Because I put the video out.
By a red man.
I hadn't catched... I wasn't aware of you back then.
Well, almost. My eyes were almost closed with the swelling. My eyes were almost closed with the swelling. My head was half the size, again, on top of what it is in size. I mean, it was literally like... somebody, like an elephant, had stomped on my face.
Yeah, truly bloat. So like an allergic reaction type of bloat.
Yeah, like a proper chemical burn. It was like a chemical burn. It wasn't sunburn. It felt like it was a chemical burn. It was really, really bad. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to stick to my guns on what actually transpired that day. No matter what anybody else says, fat warrior there that's turning up 2 hours after me, right? You know. Andy pissed off. He ran inside at fucking 3 o'clock to go and sit in a bar. Get out of the sun.
Well, at the end of the day, honestly, he lost track of time because Antonio was there and he was too busy sucking his dick and he just didn't realise he was getting burnt.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I couldn't find the proper website. Geoengineering.org is not functional.
You know what, Arwen? I found it for you. There's another word in there. I just posted in Ballbusters.
Right.
It's called geoengineeringwatch.org, I believe.
Ah, right.
Yeah, but it's there in Ballbusters.
Yeah, I got him.
All right.
Coal fly ash.
Ash, right. Where's the search? Ooh.
I have to find that PDF.
Hang on, I gotta let my dog out.
Coal ash.
Fucking hell. Ranty, how long does it take you to render a video?
I can't find anything specific on coal fly ash, but
normally.
Ranty, if you could get the PDF for me, that would be great.
I've took my graphics card out and I don't have a new graphics card yet, and I've just rendered a small video that was literally not very long at all. I think it was less than 700 meg, and it took about an hour and 20 minutes. Now, an hour and 19 minutes, it's like, what the fuck?
How long? For what type of video? How long's a video?
9 minutes.
And how long's it taken?
More than an hour.
That's ridiculous.
I know, just because I've not got a thingy in. A graphics card.
Evidence of coal fly ash toxic chemical geoengineering in the troposphere. Consequences for public health. This was published online on the August the 11th, 2015. About the time that me and you guys met up, actually. Tony.
What?
Published online on August the 11th, 2015, right? Which was about, if it was that year that we met up, was it? No, it was after that, wasn't it? It was 2017 or something. But anyway, there's an article here that says evidence of coal fly ash toxic chemical geoengineering in the troposphere, consequences for public health. This is explaining. This is from the nih.gov. Do you want me to copy and paste that for you, Arwin?
Wow, Master B, Paula, and Anon Mother were going at it to the point where Paula blocked them. Anon pisses everybody off.
Yeah, let me put this in the thing for you, Arwin.
Okay.
Right.
Sleeping Warrior just put out a new video, by the way.
Right, just read that article.
What? Where?
I've just put it in Ballbusters.
Okay.
See if you can share it on your screen as well.
Okay.
So where's it come from? So if you look at the top, it says https www.ncbi.nlm.nah.gov. So it's a government article, yeah, and it says evidence of coal fly ash toxic chemical geoengineering in the troposphere. Hello, what does that say?
Well, it also says the article is retracted. By the way.
Yeah, well, it would be. Why do you think it would be retracted, Arwin?
I don't know.
Hello, silence. You cannot put stuff out like that. You know, we don't want people knowing about this stuff.
Yeah, but that's not gonna work. It's just saying no, retracted. It's not actually covering it up. If they really don't want it to get out there, then it would just be gone.
I disagree. Because there's a lot of talk about this. They can't just hide it.
But where is the description exactly as to what the compounds
what
are?
you looking? Well, have a read of it, and it'll tell you all about it.
Oh wait, is this what is in it? Damn, that's a lot.
So they had all this evidence for it, and then suddenly it's been retracted. You know.
Huh.
But yeah, I mean, all I'm going to say is that something weird happened that day. If I'd have stayed from underneath that cloud, I am absolutely sure that I wouldn't have received the same burns. That's
an odd mixture.
Opinion. So yeah, so me and Nathan had this back and forth after that, where we really didn't like each other. He put videos out about me, I put videos out about him, and they were really bad. Tony, do you remember that video I did?
What? That was me?
Yeah. Remember that? No. Do you remember the video I did about Nathan?
About scratch, sniff, sniff.
Scratch. It was funny though, wasn't it?
It was funny, but it was shocking. I remember at the time, because you and Nathan had started off with this bad start, like bad initial kickoff.
Yep.
You were both being penises about like speaking to each other, and I was in the middle, and I was like, "Fucking hell, Ranty, just be nice to Nathan, and I'll tell Nathan to be nice back, and then it'll be okay." And neither one, Leamington Spa, when we met at Leamington Spa, Ranty was supposed to come, but he didn't come because he was being a penis, and it was such a shame because he'd have met everybody there that day, but Ranty's a fucking idiot.
So you devised another policy where you dragged me onto a show. Out of the blue, you phoned me on Skype and said, "Come in, help me out. I'm debating these balls. I need you to bring the Blackpool Tower evidence. I need you to bring the evidence of seeing that lighthouse at Wales, all the other stuff. Bring it all down and just shut them up." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay. What's the link?" And you went, "Yeah, but it is for Nathan Oakley's channel." I went, "Fuck off." You went, please, come on, please. And you badgered me into it, and I was like, "Oh, for God's sake, right, okay then." And then, funnily enough, the next 2 years, it was the Christmas show, wasn't it, that he'd recorded? And you didn't tell me that it was a Christmas special. So the 2 Christmas specials, not this one just gone, but the 2 prior, was the first time that I ever appeared on Nathan's show, because he repeated it for 2 years running. It was that good.
Guys,
did you guys read the back and forth? Did you read the back and forth with Paula and Anand?
No, I've not been reading it. I'm aware that it's happening.
Yeah, if I may for a moment, I'm looking at this list of the elements that are supposed to be in there. It's very fascinating because looking over them carefully, I've come to the conclusion that you could roughly say that a big part of them are all radioactive substances. So most of them are metallic, and some of them are just regular thing that could potentially be nutritious. It's a fascinating amalgam of different types of elements, but definitely poisonous things in there and radioactive things. A lot of different types of radioactive things.
Well, all I'm going to say is my face looked like it had been stuck in a radiation chamber.
Right.
It did.
It was a severe stinging, burning feeling when I felt it.
Yeah, that's exactly the same with me. Severe stinging, but my face ballooned up. It was so sore. I mean, I was squinting to see out of my eyes because they were
like
closed that much.
Sulfur in there and everything. So yeah, it's gonna be acidic.
Yeah, that had never happened to me in the sun.
There's some acidic things in there and like arsenic and everything. So yeah, your skin's gonna get it.
Yeah, that had never happened to me ever in the sun. So I had to go in, put long sleeve shirts on, and wear one of those really big hats that overhang your face because it was like you were under a fire.
Mm.
So I relate with you, and that was at the time when they were chemming up above me. I've never had that when the sky was just blue and by itself.
Well, it's funny since then. I mean, I'd say probably in the last year, Nathan's actually told me privately that there may have been something to that, but at the time he just didn't know because he hadn't researched.
No, he
chemtrails.
fucking didn't.
He did.
No way.
No, he did because he told me he hadn't looked into chemtrails at all. This is what he told me. He said I'd never looked into chemtrails at that time, and I just saw your video and I thought, what a load of bollocks. He says that, but then after you get into flat Earth and stuff, and then you've got nothing else to look into. You're looking into chemtrails. Well, this is his journey because he was in flat Earth before he was in chemtrails. Mine was the other way around. And then he started looking into chemtrails, and he says, actually, you might have had some, you might have been on to something, but,
So, Riley, if you look at the back and forth that Paula's had with Anand Modo, you'll see that it gets him on the verb and the noun of the argument. It just holds his feet to it.
Somebody pick up the phone.
It's me. I'm waiting for them to ring off so I can turn off Ring.
Just put yourself on mute, man.
Sorry.
You tell him, Arwin. You tell him.
Oh, too much. Well, boys, I gotta get to work. It was wonderful talking to you in the after show.
The after show. That's the one.
Happy ever after show.
Yeah, happy ever after show. But I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
All right. See you in the morning.
Yeah,
Take care.
worries.
Bye-bye.
Take
See
care.
you later, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, good stuff, Ranty. I like this.
Yeah.
Should do it more often.
Well, it just seems like it's just a waste because us guys, we always hang around, and you guys are always hanging around afterwards, and it seems like whatever we're discussing, people aren't privy to that. It seems like a waste because people just think we'll probably come on for just 2 hours a day, but we're doing this all the time, We're looking into stuff,
Right, but, in the past, most of us have done this, but we were all just in our developing stages, and I think that we're all kind of ready now to get more serious and actually get real with it. So yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with doing this kind of thing recorded.
Yeah, it's not going to be all the time. It's just now and then,
Right.
Just give them a little treat now and then.
Yep.
Right, so go on.
You're going to round out, or?
Yeah, I'm going to round out. Do you want to say goodbye, guys?
Bye, guys.
Yeah, Chucky's gone. Arwin?
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Yeah, see you on the Flat Earth Early Bird Show too.
to ring off. Right, guys, that was the end of the show, and I'll see you all in the next one. There we go. I enjoyed that, guys. I have to say, it was a great conversation this afternoon. Really enjoyed it. This is what generally happens after an after show. Hang on, let me just adjust this a little bit so you guys can see what's going on here. There we go. Yeah, so yeah, typically after Nathan's finished his show, us guys will stay on chatting, and we'll be discussing all kinds of stuff. So as you've seen this evening, we talk about all kinds of stuff, chemtrails, obviously what you've just been hearing about, but all different things, you know, the ether and things like that. And the link's still open as well. You know, if you're in sort of like the masturbators Skype group, you can just join from there. So it's a case of like Anon came in, he was able to put up his fight for the belief in the ether, etc. So yeah, I mean, this is typical. This is what we do, guys. This is you know, it's not just what happens on Nathan's. Right, so a few shout outs. So we have, obviously we've still got Arwin still in the chat, which is excellent. We got Paige, Ryan Eaton, nice to see you in, and Flat Enough, Amanda Young. Yeah, thank you for that super chat as well, by the way, Amanda. I do appreciate. Oh no, it wasn't a super chat, was it? It was a sticker. I think that's the first sticker I've ever had, so thank you very much. Ninja Man, nice to see you in as well. I gave Twitwit a wrench. I believe Twitwit is a globe earther, but she's always been very polite and very honest from everything I've ever seen, over 3 years and more. So big thumbs up to Twitwit for getting the wrench there. Isa Mahalski, nice to see you in. Who else do we have in? Let's have a look, see. A few more wrenches. Where's all the wrenches gone? Jimbo, you got a wrench. Oh, sorry for leaving it so late, actually. You deserved your wrench much sooner than that. Rune, nice to see you in too. So yeah, there are plenty of people in. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this after show. I don't know how many more of these we're going to do. You know, it would be interesting if Arwin actually recorded a couple of these. I think perhaps, you know, to try and, you know, get a few more people to come and watch him and watch his show. That would be good. I have got Brian coming on, I believe tomorrow. So Brian was supposed to come on this evening. I asked him if he would postpone it so I could put this video out, and he was kind enough to do so. So he will be doing his presentation tomorrow, hopefully, I think. And I do have a debate going on this week too, as well. And I've just set up that Skype call. So that Skype call is now confirmed. So these two, Zanik and Elijah, will be getting into this. I believe that's over a Soundly video or something like that, so it'll be interesting to see how that transpires. Yeah, I think that's it really. You should mod up Eyes to See. Should I mod up Eyes to See? Let's have a look. There. I have to make sure I get the right one. I think that's the one. Eyes to See is now moderator. There you go. Chucky, how are you not a moderator, my friend? There you go. Chucky, you are moderator too. Dreads as well. Dreads should be a mod. Let me see if I can mod that fella over there. Hopefully that is the one. Yep, there we go. Right, so okay, so I've literally given out like 7 or 8 mods this evening. I don't really want to give any more out. That should be plenty for everybody. As it is, that'll do for this particular show. I think Nathan's calling it the bootleg show. But I don't think it's a bootleg show, because at least on this show you actually get to hear people speak. You don't get to just hear Nathan speak. You actually get to hear a whole variety of different people talking about a variety of different things. So I wouldn't say it's bootleg. It's just a case of, after listening to Nathan and being in this chat for a couple of hours, we'd like to have a chance to speak as well. So there you go. There's what you get to hear in the after show. Arwen gave me the idea of calling it the happy ever after show. And that's what I've done. I've called it the happy ever after show. So Arwen, if you want to take over the reins and do a couple of these shows, I do not mind that one little bit. Shout out to Amanda Young. I think you gave a super chat too as well, so thank you very much. In any event, that will do for this evening, and I will see you all in the very next one.